Enduro freaks, hey, D. Tidwell here, Enduro mountain bike training. Hope you had a good week and enjoyed our last M.O.W, our movement of the week. Today, we got our second movement of the week. And we're going to talk hip hinge again, because that's crucial. But one thing I want to just briefly touch on today is the hip extension move. Because, listen folks, it's nice to throw around a kettlebell, and that seems to be this big thing that's going around the world right now with CrossFit and all these other kinds of things that are, by the way, improperly teaching people how to perform that move. But here's the deal. You can't, biomechanically we suggest that you do not swing a kettlebell unless you can first deadlift. And you don't deadlift until you first are able to do a good hip extension move, because it all involves the hip joint movement as well as glute control and core stability. Not to mention the link between your hips and your upper back and arm is the big lat muscle. So if you don't have good shoulder stability either, then doing a deadlift, and particularly a kettlebell swing, which is a deadlift with movement, with the lever arm, then you're going to be in some trouble. Low back pain, disc ruptures, shoulder strains and pulls, neck strains and pulls. All these things are occurring a lot because people are not properly instructed on how to prepare from a movement standpoint to be good at those. So let's address it. And you know me, I got to carry my camera around because I'm a one-man show. All right, so like I said, in order to do this move, Romanian style deadlift, or this move, you need to be able to first be able to do this move. Starting here, you should be able to touch your heels mostly, unless you have some kind of knee issue, in which case you're limited in your knee flexion. But on your back, chest is up, palms are up at 45 degrees. Here's my palm, and my heels are almost where I can touch them. I've got hips width in my in my legs. They're not too wide and they're not too narrow, they're hips width. And what I'm going to do simultaneously, first draw my belly in without changing my pelvic tilt. You see that? I pulled my belly in, but I didn't go pull belly in, pelvic tilt. They're not one and the same. You should still have a neutral spine here, which means I should have just about that much space between my finger and my spine and the floor. Okay? So that doesn't move. I suck my belly in with a neutral spine, and then from here, simultaneously, I lift my entire body up. Now, don't rainbow, because that's going to low back. I go straight, my chest is up, which means I'm on my upper part of my shoulder blades, okay? I don't have a rounded T-spine. You can see how much of my back is on the floor. That's not right. We should have on the shoulder blades, little, see how much I have or how little I have up there? So that's where your position is. Glutes are holding you here because they have the advantage to hold my legs up while simultaneously holding my pelvis up because they attach at the upper body. I said meant thorax, I said pelvis, sorry. They have the mechanical advantage to hold my upper body up as well as my lower body. So you should feel this burning in your booty. My pressure is going through my heels at 50-50 each leg, not 60-40. So if you have 60-40, start putting more pressure in the 40 till it gets equal to 50-50. Okay, so you can either do reps if you happen to be fairly unstable and weak, which most of you probably are, based off of our screening. You hold for 5 seconds and you do 12 reps. Then eventually you work, that's 60 seconds by the way, and then you go 10 times 6, 10 reps, 6 second holds, then maybe you go 8 times, I don't know, 9 maybe, 8 seconds. Work your way up so eventually you end up holding the entire an entire minute in this up position with those glutes. If you have to poke at them like I'm doing here, then go ahead and do that. But see, look at this right here. My legs are basically a 45 degree. That is almost the position of the deadlift that I started showing you, and it's almost the position with the kettlebell swing. This is a hip hinge. And from here, the glutes. What's up, gang? D. Tidwell, Enduro mountain bike training. Hope you had a great week. It's still raining here in Colorado. It's driving us mountain bikers crazy. Anyway, welcome to the movement of the week. Today is May 21st, and we are going to continue our discussion we started from last week's M.O.W Movement of the week in talking about a little bit of hip hinge. Last week, focused on hamstrings. This week, we're going to focus on the movement of hip hinge, because there are a lot of people who are deadlifting and especially doing kettlebell swings who shouldn't be doing those things because they haven't earned the right to do either of those things, because they don't have the stability and the mobility in the hip joint to do those particular moves. So I wanted to go over those two things, actually, precursors of things that you can do so that you can earn your right to do a kettlebell swing and a deadlift properly, and most importantly safely, with repetition, and then develop the movement pattern as something that your body has learned and can repeat over and over and over without issue. Okay, since a majority of people, based off of my screening, have no business doing any kind of kettlebell swing or deadlift. And you know me, I'm the self camera guy because I'm a one-man show. But if you want to do this move, or this move, then you need to be able to do this one first. Boom. Okay, and that is the simple hip extension. And in the future, I'll keep breaking these down, but let's get the basics first. First of all, this position, if I put my feet flat, if I'm standing up, is the same position that I did my deadlift and my kettlebell swing from. That is a hip extended position. This would basically be like a 45 degrees at hip extension. At hip flexion. Okay? The biomechanical advantage in this position comes from the glutes to go into hip extension. Does that make sense? Good, because those two things, be good at hip flexion and then driven by the glutes into hip extension, are very important. So how do we do that? We go, I should be able to touch my heels, almost, unless you have a knee issue that doesn't allow for this type of knee flexion. Then you would start wherever you have to, and then you would match the other leg to it. Okay, for now I can touch, so I'm going to go here. My legs are hips width. My palms are up 45 degrees. This is my start position. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my belly in. Okay, that provides stability in the core. Notice what I didn't do. I didn't go draw the belly in and tuck my butt. Okay, there is not a thing as draw the belly in and do a pelvic tilt at the same time. I know you ladies have been taught that a lot in Pilates and yoga. It's wrong. Okay, we don't want that. You don't want to teach that spinal flexion movement, okay, which is a posterior tilt, in a deadlift or a kettlebell swing. That will be disastrous. Okay, so the spine is neutral, and if I take my fingers and I go and slide it under my lower back, basically under my belly button, they should fit nicely between the floor and my lower back. That's neutral spine. Then I draw my belly in to hold. Okay, from here I simply lift my entire body up at the same time, squeeze my glutes. Okay, it's pretty simple. Now, what I do want to see is I want to see most of your back off the floor. So you're up on your shoulder blades. You're not rounded with poor posture. This is poor posture, peeps. We don't want this. This is what you're doing at your desk every day with this rounded poor posture. Get your shoulder blades up and your chest up. Okay? Now, What I didn't say is to go arch your back and really go into this rainbow position. I didn't say that. That's going to be low back. We want body straight on our shoulder blades here, okay? So this is what you do. Glutes are working. You can start by doing, usually I'll have my clients go 10 reps, 6-second holds, so that's 60 seconds. And we work them incrementally, say with a 4 reps, 15-second holds, and then 1 rep of 60-second hold. So eventually you should be able to hold this with your glutes working. Hamstrings and lower back are pretty much not working that much. They are assisting because they are part of the extensor system that works. The lower back, the glutes, and the hamstrings do work as a team. But right now we're trying to get your king, we call the glutes the king, back online. The abs are the queen, okay? They need to work together. So this is what I want you to get good at. Be able to hold it for a minute. Then we could talk about progressions, okay? If this is easy, then you could go here to here, okay? You can also go single leg hold, okay? You can come up and down. You can do a single leg hold, up and down. There's all kinds of progressions that we do from here, which again, I'll cover in a future video. But for now, I want you to focus on the hip extension. Understand that if you do this, okay, it's going to improve your ability to do a deadlift and a kettlebell swing. So go ahead and try that. Do it for this week. If you do have questions, find a really good certified person around you who knows what they're doing as it relates to deadlifting and kettlebell swings, like an RKC pro, or, and I'll be selfish, contact me and I'm happy to help. So there's your movement of the week for this week. And thank you for watching. Hope to see you next week. Have a great week, and I hope you get to ride, because we're not getting to ride that much. So, info at EnduroMTBtraining.com is where you can find me. And don't forget about our 90-day program that you can start now and still be rocking in the middle of the summer. For you Southern Hemisphere dudes down there in Australia and New Zealand, our 6-month program, Ultimate Enduro Training Program, is awesome. All that's at www.EnduroMTBtraining.com. You guys have a great week, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.